Welcome to the Ruth H. Barris Concert Hall at Brigham Young University, Idaho. As part of the Eliza R. Snow Center for the Performing Arts, Barris Hall is the university's main concert hall for music and houses the four-manual 67-rank Rufati pipe organ. The Snow Building dates from 1980, and this performance hall was designed with the pipe organ in mind. It was installed 3 years later, in 1983. Ruth Barris, who was the organ instructor at Ricks College from 1935 to 1977, and Darwin Wolford, the director of organ studies at the time, selected the Rufati firm to build the organ for the hall. They cited the singing quality of Rufati pipework, a quality that is so characteristic of Italian instruments and music in general. They designed an organ that would be suitable to perform an eclectic variety of literature. Because the cost of the building ended up being over budget, all funds for extras, including the cost of the organ, had to be privately raised. Darwin and his wife Julie stepped up to the plate, and the two of them went out and raised the money needed, enough in fact to grow the project from 3 manuals to 4. The dedication of the instrument took place on Sunday, November 6, 1983. Following the Tabernacle Choir's 2,829th broadcast, which was from this hall, Elder L. Tom Perry dedicated the organ. The organ is made up of 7 divisions: great, swell, choir, positive, which plays on the choir manual, solo, echo, which can be assigned to any manual, and pedal. The current console is built by the Rogers Organ Company, with keyboards, draw knobs, couplers, and pistons manufactured by Organ Supply Industries. The console dimensions are AGO standard, with 61-note keyboards and a 32-note radiating concave pedal board. The key and stop actions are by way of an electrical connection from key, or stop, to the pipe chest. The chests themselves are electro-pneumatic Pitman chests, which means that when a key is depressed, an electrical circuit is completed, allowing wind to enter a pneumatic motor that then opens a type of floating valve called a Pitman, which then allows wind into the pipe itself. The organ has 67 ranks of pipes and additionally includes 106 electronic voices, most of them controlled by draw knobs. Some of those electronic voices are accessible as alternate options on those draw knobs with small black dots at the top. The electronic voices are all from the Rogers Organ Company. Let's now take a look at the inner workings of the instrument. We gain access to the organ loft from a door on the 2nd floor of the building. It opens up right into the loft, and we'll cross it to get to the blower room door, which you can see is actually a double door for sound canceling purposes. The blower room houses the amplifiers for the electronic voices, the rectifiers and switches, and the blower with its main reservoir. Let's listen as it turns on. This grill covers a conduit up to the attic of the building, where vents to the outside admit fresh air to the blower room. The trunk you see below the left side of the reservoir directs the wind to the various divisions of the organ. Immediately adjacent to the blower room door is the choir division. Because space is so tight, the solid wood door cannot swing on hinges, so it is held in place by wooden brackets. The door can then be lifted out of its place and laid against the adjoining wall. We see here the wind line that came from the blower room, and it feeds the choir reservoir, which then feeds the choir chest itself. Here we see the pipework of the choir division. The smaller pipes are near the back of the chest, and the larger pipes closer to the front, where the shutters are. This allows for easier access to the pipes for tuning purposes. The 4-rank Rauschquint is visible to the lower right. The 8-foot stops are in the rear. You can also notice the tuning sleeves at the top of each pipe. Raising the sleeve increases the sounding length of the pipe, which lowers the pitch. Lower the sleeve, and the pitch rises. Next, we head into the swell division. Again, the wind trunk along the floor feeds the two reservoirs for this division, and from the reservoirs, the air moves into the chests. You'll also see the offset chest against the back wall of the box, which holds the bottom octaves of the principal 8 and the trumpet 8. This is one of the two chests with the mixtures. Here is the swell shade motor, which shuts and then opens the swell shades. This view clearly shows the two chests of the swell division, with the 8-foot and 4-foot reeds on the back of the chest to the right, the offset chest in the distance against the wall, and the speakers for the electronic voices. The swell shades are to the right. Here is the view in between the swell boxes to the left and the back of the 16-foot principal facade pipes to the right, with speakers for the grate and the trumpet en chamade up at the top. To the left, we have the boots for the 16-foot pedal bombard, with the tuning wires to the right of each resonator. To the right is the 16-foot pedal subas, a stopped wooden set of pipes that also plays at 8-foot, 4-foot, and 2-foot pitch. This is the back of the 16-foot Spitz flute. Notice how the pipes taper towards the top. To the left is the 8-foot Bordon. Here is one of the large subwoofers for the 32-foot pedal stops, which sits below the facade pipes. This tiny clip attaches to one of the principal pipes in the facade, and its function is to gauge the temperature of the pipe, which then adjusts the tuning of the electronic voices, so that the electronic voices and pipes are always in tune with each other. Here is a dramatic view of the hall from above the trumpet en chamade pipes, which are suspended from a metal rack attached to the upper pipe chests. This small blower, which is to the right of the main blower, is specifically for the trumpet en chamade. It has its own PVC wind line to that rank. Here is the upper level of the organ. There are 3 chests on this level. We see the facade 16 principal is to the left. The far chest, which would be to the left as we face the organ, holds pipes for the pedal division. The 5-rank mixture is in front. The middle chest is visible here. This is the positive division. The koppel flute with its tapered caps and blue felting is visible. Behind it is the 4-foot principal and the 8-foot Holzgedeckt, a stopped wooden rank. Here we see the chest located behind the trumpet en chamade, which is for the great division. You can see the flared resonators of the 8-foot trumpet in the front to the right. This view is from the edge of the upper level, looking through the 16-foot Spitz flute. The tops of the 16-foot bombard are to the left, in front of speakers for the solo division. You'll notice the tuning scrolls behind the top of each Spitz flute pipe. This view looks down onto the front and center grate chest, which holds the upper mixture, the principal 2, and the flute octaviant. And with that, we switch off the blower, close the double doors, and head back down to the console.